Good morning, everyone. This is Monday morning training. I apologize for not communicating very well, and a lot of people didn't know this was taking place. So I'm just going to go through what we were planning to talk about and post it. I'll post the recording in Basecamp. If you guys have any questions, please do reach out and let me know. And if you'd like to, we can get together later in the week, or we can just pick this up next Monday morning at 9. I do plan to do this every Monday morning for those of you who are interested. The first thing that I'll say about being for generating business when it comes to listings, it's so important that you have a positive mindset. And even before that, let's talk about the importance of listings, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten buyer leads from my current listings. One of my very first listings was in Huntersville in the North Carolina, in the downtown area, perfect location. And my phone rang off the hook, and I picked up one buyer lead, which also turned into a listing. And I did over $700,000 worth of volume based off of a sign call when the house was already under contract. People called and said, "Can I interested in your listing?" And I said, "Well, that one's no longer available, but I'd love to help you if you don't have an agent." And they said, "Oh, that's perfect." And I was able to list their house for sale in Pineville and help them buy a house in Concord. And so based off of that one listing, I was able to do two other transactions with an average price point over $300,000. So that's just one example. There are many, many more. They say list to last in this business, and it's absolutely true. We list to last, and listings beget listings. I have picked up a listing just a few weeks ago in my neighborhood. The people have been my neighbors for 5 or 6 years. They're moving out of town, and they called me. They said, we love our realtor who we used to use, the guy who helped us buy this house. We absolutely love him. Don't have anything against him, but we've seen you sell 3 other houses on our street in the last year. And we know that you know this neighborhood, and we know that you can sell. The fact of the matter is everybody can sell in this market if you price appropriately. But just because they'd seen my sign in a few other neighbors' yards in the past 6 or so months, they decided to list with me. And so it's very important. Nothing is going to give you the marketing and the exposure to the marketplace like a for sale sign in a front yard of a house, especially if it's in your neighborhood. And the most successful realtors are doing the bulk of their business within a 1 to 2 mile radius of where they live. And it's very important that you get out there and hit it. But it's also important that you have a daily affirmation. I call it preaching to myself. And I must have a positive outlook and a positive attitude, because my attitude is contagious to the people around me. And if I'm negative, gloomy, down on myself, disappointed, feeling dejected, everybody around me is going to pick up on that as well. But if I'm positive and optimistic and encouraging, everybody around me is going to pick up on that as well. And I'm not saying that you can change everybody's outlook, but people will have a perception of you, and you want that to be a positive perception. So I have a daily affirmation that I read to myself, and I won't bore you with the entire thing, but I say things to myself every day, such as I have a knack for starting, running, and growing businesses. I work hard and I'm respected by those who know me well. Today will be a great and productive day in which I will accomplish all that I must in order to achieve my plans for success. It's very important that we start off every day with a positive mindset. We encourage ourselves so that we can be encouraging to others. The second thing, and this will give you even more confidence, is you must know your local market. Wherever you're planning to do your listings, wherever you're planning to dominate and be the go-to realtor, you must know that market. Now, I do 80% of the list, well, 70% of the listings in my neighborhood. And the reason for that, I've lived here for 9 years. I served on my HOA for 5 years. I sell a lot of houses, like I said before, and people see my sign. And so therefore they call me because they know that I am the area specialist. They know that nobody knows this area better than I do. But how did I get to that point? How did I get to that place where people know that I know the market? Well, it started when I first got MLS access. I've been an agent for 6 years almost. And when I first started, I went into our MLS system, and in this area we use Matrix. I know everybody doesn't, but um, I set up an auto alert for my neighborhood, and I email myself. The system emails me instantly as soon as possible every time anything happens real estate wise in my community. The house comes on the market, coming soon, under contract, expired, withdrawn, whatever. I am the first person to know about it. And and so obviously when I first started, I wasn't the dominating agent in this neighborhood. There were actually at one time, four other realtors who, well, if you count a husband and wife team, there were five other realtors who lived in my community of 111 homes. That that was tough competition, and many of them had been in the market. Well, all of them had been in the market longer than I. And so what I had to do was distinguish myself as somebody who really understands what is going on. So I studied it. I know the price per square foot of every home. I know the floor plans of all the different homes. If another agent lists a home in my neighborhood, I'm the first one to go and preview it. I'm the first one to get in there. And when I'm going out to check my mail, invariably the neighbor across the street will say, "Oh, did you see that the Smiths are listing their home?" Yes, I did. And I have some of my neighbors that will come to me and say, I saw another realtor at the Smith's house down the street. Are they going to be listing?" And it's people always look at me and come to me with their questions because I've marketed myself in such a way that I am the real estate expert. And I was able to do that because I know the market inside out. I have an email set up to myself within a 3 mile radius of my house every morning. The first thing I do, sometimes even before I roll out of bed, is I look at this email, and it tells me everything that happened in the real estate market within the last 3 years, or within 3 miles in the last day. So whenever I am out and about, if I happen to run into somebody and they have a real estate question, they are always impressed because I know the answer before they even ask the question. I don't have to look, I already know it. And that in itself has helped me to distinguish myself as a an expert. And because of that, people trust me. People do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And so people already like you. Your family and your friends like you. Many of your neighbors like you. They just have to learn to trust you. So if you study the market, you research it, and you know it like the back of your hand, you will be the go-to realtor for all those people who already know and love you. The second thing that I would say is start with these conversations. When you are establishing yourself as a new agent, you need to have some sometimes uncomfortable conversations with the people in your sphere. So get out a piece of paper or use an Excel spreadsheet and write down the people who are in your sphere, whether it's past colleagues, current coworkers, family members, neighbors, friends, people whom you know, or at least you think would use you as their agent. And you should be able to come up with a list of 40 to 50 people. If it takes you a while to get there, that's fine. But you will be surprised at sometimes there's a Facebook friend that never posts, never comments, never likes, that is just out there lurking in the shadows following you. And they're going to be the one to call you when it's time to sell their house. And you don't even know who they are in real life. It's just, somebody's out there. But the thing is, you have to get out there and start exposing yourself to the market. And so you come up with this list of ideally 40 to 50 people to start with, and you give them a call and you say, "Hey, look, I just got my real estate license, or I'm rebranding myself as a listing specialist in this area. And I just have a couple questions for you. Number one, I know that you have 3 or 4 other good friends, family members, etc., who are real estate agents. If you weren't going to use one of them, would you consider using me as your agent? And phrase it in such a way that you want an honest answer. You want people to tell you the truth, because you need to know who the people are who are willing to refer business to you, the people who are willing to work with you. And and if they're not, if their sister is a realtor and they're going to use their sister, that's totally fine. You can still be friends, but you need to focus your attention on the people who are willing and able to work with you and refer their friends and family to you. Very important. Um, if you look around, there are uh, lots of realtors out there who sometimes I would scratch my head and wonder how they sat through and passed the test to get their real estate license. I think that's something that if you're in this business for a while, you will notice that. And I want you to encourage yourself with the idea that if those people can be successful, then you can as well. I've seen agents who are extremely high producers because they're well connected and people love them, who do an absolutely terrible job marketing homes. Like, you're looking through their pictures and you'll see them taking pictures of the bathroom and you see their reflection in the bathroom mirror. There's people who cannot conjugate a sentence out there selling homes. If they can do it, guys, you can do it as well. So continue to work your sphere. Um, have events. One of the first things that I did when I got licensed, a couple months after I got licensed, there's a minor league baseball team that's right up the street from where we are. And I was able to negotiate and get $2 tickets. And so I bought 50 tickets. It cost me $100. I bought 50 tickets and I invited all my friends and neighbors. And I said, hey, bring your family, come out Saturday night. They're going to be doing, this minor league baseball game. And we'll also have, they're going to do fireworks after the game. Probably 7 or 8 families from my community all came out. We all had a good time. We sat together. I was wearing my, at the time, Remax t-shirt and Remax baseball hat. And I just went around and talked with each family, and people had a really wonderful, fun time. And we just um, created a memory, and it was a good time, and people enjoyed that. It gave us a time to kind of connect personally, get to know one another. And because of that, there I have listed homes for many of those people. When I started, I said that there were 5 other realtors who lived in my neighborhood. They've all moved away. I'm the only one left, and now I'm dominating. And so that's awesome. You can also call for sale by owners. Typically, if in this market, I don't know where all of you guys are, but in most metropolitan areas in 2021 so far, it's a hot sellers market. So you're not going to have a lot of expired listings. The only expired listings that I'm seeing a lot of right now are the luxury homes into the multi-million dollars. That is certainly a possibility. And if you are curious and interested in pursuing that market and becoming a listing agent for luxury homes, give me a call and we can talk about that at another time. But that would be probably the only expired market that you can go after. I have scripts for sale by owners. So there are a lot of people out there right now who are trying to sell their home without an agent, and I totally get that. Before I got licensed, I did that. I would always try to sell my homes for sale by owner before I went and listed with a realtor, just because I wanted to save money. And a lot of people out there think that way. But I have scripts for those people. A lot of times you can get their phone numbers right off of Zillow, and that's a separate call, but we can certainly talk about that. If any of you have questions about that, let me know. You could also search the MLS for old expireds. So you can go in and search for homes that expired more than a year ago or more than 6 months ago, and search and see if they haven't been relisted, and then try to give them a call and go after them. And we have a script for that as well. If you're interested in that, let me know. The other thing that you can do is door knock, and just go into your community or your target community, dress nicely, and go up and knock on doors on a Saturday afternoon, and say, if I have if I were to bring a buyer, would you be interested in selling your home? We have such limited inventory. I'm just out here trying to find a home for my clients. And if they say no, thank you very much. Do you know anybody else who might be interested in moving? And you would be surprised how successful and how successful you can be with that. Let me just say it that way. Most people, most of us will never go and knock on a door. So for those of you who are willing to do it, you will be successful. The last thing I'll say is farming. We talk a lot about using the company Real Marketing. Their website is realmarketing4u, number 4u.com. They do a phenomenal job. And I'm going to read to you a text that I got just this past Friday night. Let me find this guy. Here we go. So I started farming a community just about two months ago. So they've received 2 mailings so far. I received this text at 8 o'clock Friday night. David, received your piece again up here in Massachusetts. You fortunately have good timing. I need your help selling my 2 rental properties in Moss Creek with tenants, and he gave me both addresses. Can you give me an idea what price will move them fast? And I said, I had just gotten home from a listing appointment. I come in, I sit at my computer, I pick up my phone, and that was what I'd seen. He had literally texted me at 8:22, and I responded at 8:23. And I said, I'll check on that right away. I was just sitting down at my computer and had the MLS pulled up. Talk about good timing. We go on, and then he ended up saying, let me find the text. We had a good long conversation. He said, great marketing piece. Best I have seen in 25 years, and your response is very appreciated. I am happy to be working with you. So guys, I'm sending out 500 mailers a month. It's costing me with postage, I'm not even sure, maybe $650 or $700 a month. And after 2 months of that, I just picked up 2 listings that are going to be in the high 200s. So if I get 3% of $600,000, that's $9,000. Sorry, that's $18,000. And that's a good return on investment. So I am personally not the kind of guy who's going to go out and beat down the door trying to raise business, trying to grow business. But I love it when it comes to me. And so farming does that. It brings them to me. Internet leads right now are trash. I am getting complaints from everybody who's using any kind of internet marketing. There are exceptions, but you have to really weed through a lot of poor leads in order to find the good ones. And even the good ones require a lot of follow-up in order to get them to the closing table. So it's a lot of work. That's another way that you can do it. And through your Chime CRM that the company provides for you, there are ways to do that. And that would be a separate call as well. Guys, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please do let me know. And let's get together next week, 9 a.m. Eastern.